All right, so it's working on YouTube, which is great. Share, copy. So, what's the weather like where you are now?
We've been having some overcast days and some snow going on, and
Oh, well.
so we need it. We need it. We've been in a drought, so the weather's been what we need. Cold and snowy.
Yeah. Isn't Utah surrounded by mountains?
It is, yeah. So it's what's considered a high desert. So it's up in the tops of the mountains, but it's still so really hot in
Yeah.
the summer, nice and cold in the winter, snow, that kinds of
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
All right, did you drop that link for me?
I did. Just give me one sec. Okay, cancel productivity. I don't even know if this will work on this. Yeah, let's maybe. Facebook's been really bad to me lately. They've restricted me probably 4 months ago for violence. Um, and the violence was I was supposedly violent because I commented on a snake in someone's shower, and so a friend of mine found a snake in his shower, and as a joke, I said I'd burn the house down. Because like
Oh,
there's a snake in your shower, so
yeah, yeah.
obviously, like everyone with half a brain knows that that's a joke. So
Hmm.
I got done for violence,
Oh
and
man.
I was restricted for 28 days, and then I got done for bullying. And the joke was me. Do you know that little Russian dude? He's 18. He's got that syndrome that he's 18, but he looks like a 4 year
Oh
old, like
yeah,
Hezbollah.
yeah.
Um, so I made a joke that was me fighting him in a ring, going, I'd smash him, but then I put dot 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 30 seconds later, Alan loses. So like
Hmm.
I'm going into the ring full of confidence, but then I lose. So the joke was about me losing, but supposedly that was me bullying myself. Like it's just crazy.
Yeah. So I got the link up on my page
Perfect.
on Facebook. So
All right. All right. So we're live, baby. All right. So do you want to quickly tell people a little bit about yourself? Not for 5 minutes though, but just like I'm. I was about to say I'm still impressed. That's probably the wrong words, but the fact that you had cancer, Parkinson's disease, low testosterone, you had no money, you didn't lose babies, your partner did, but
mhm.
like the stress, the emotional pain that put you through, and you still were able to build a 7-figure business. Do you want to just quickly go through that before we get started?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was a law enforcement officer, and right after I got married and graduated the academy, found out that I had testicular cancer. Survived that with just a simple operation, thank goodness, and really a miracle the way we found out about it, and it was so early. Fast forward a few years later, because of that, having low testosterone, I took testosterone replacement therapy, and my doctor didn't know what she was doing. And I wound up having a heart attack at the age of 30. My kidney function dropped from 100% down to 60%. And that was on top of the type 1 diabetes that I've had since I was 11 years old. And I was told that I would never work again. And during that process of applying for disability and things, I was also diagnosed with young onset Parkinson's disease. I still have the low testosterone. I had to go off of the testosterone replacement therapy. So a lot of chronic fatigue, a lot of just illness, and really, we lost 55% of our income overnight throughout this time period. We lost a total of 4 babies, had 4 miscarriages. Fortunately, we've been blessed with 6 children total. So all of the babies that we lost, we were able to have more after that. Um, but we just struggled, and Christmases were dollar store toys, and like 3 of them. We limited to
Mm.
like $3 for Christmas, right? Things were tough, and I saw my wife struggling. She worked for Division of Child and Family Services, so every day she was seeing children and women and families being abused and torn apart, and it was tearing her apart. And I changed my mindset one day. I believed that I was worthless, but one day I said, there's got to be something. There's got to be something I can do to change our situation and to change my wife's life, to change my life. And when my mindset started to change, when my mindset opened up to that possibility, I began to see opportunities, and I helped a friend build a 6-figure business. I then built a 6-figure business myself in the same industry, in the trucking industry, then a 7-figure business in the financial industry. That went topsy turvy, and I discovered that my real calling was helping entrepreneurs to with their productivity, but not just productivity, for them to be able to succeed in business while winning at home. As a family man
Mm.
myself, it was important that I spent time with my family, not just build a successful business. And as I discovered that formula for myself, I discovered that it worked for other people as well. And I was able to help them to do the same thing. And so I started that business and grew that to a 7-figure business. So
Yeah,
that's
nice.
where I'm at today. I'm the CEO and founder of the Purpose Driven Co. And I work less than 30 hours a week. I get to spend time with my 6 kids, my wonderful wife, an English bulldog, which is like a seventh child. And I've actually improved my energy and improved my health through the same methods that I use for my productivity.
Nice, dude. So let's get down into the nitty gritty because people want to know what exactly were you doing? So, again, the fact that you had cancer, you went through all that stuff that most people wouldn't be able to deal with, and you were still able to build a 7-figure business. So, what can you give us some tips on um, just basically what did you do to change things? Did you work on were you eating better? Did you work on your sleep? Did you start tracking your sleep? With the is it the Aura ring or whatever? Like, what did you do to go from where you were to this 7-figure business?
Right. Great question. So it was really 3 simple steps. The first thing was, obviously, it's your mindset. What I did was I discovered a purpose. I created a vision that I wanted to drive towards. That's step number one. You've got to have a vision. Step number two was I learned to manage my energy levels. I called this being present.
Mm,
I discovered that most productivity systems have it backwards in the way you plan your day and your week. And
yeah.
I learned how to manage my energy levels through just simple, uh, I guess, energy hacks. And then the third step was implementing a goal system, a productivity
Mm,
system based off of a goal system, what I call the SMARTERY goals, which stand for specific, measurable, actionable, risky, time keyed, exciting, relevant, and your why. And with those 3 simple phases and steps, I created an entire program. And I found that it flew in the face of traditional productivity methods, and yet it worked. and it works better than anything that anybody's ever seen out there.
Yeah. So why do you think, I'm not going to say 99% of people, but why do you think most, entrepreneurs, business coaches, even content creators, what do you think that they want to be productive? You know, they vision of, getting up in the morning and they're going to do all these videos and then they're going to do all these posts on Facebook and then they're going to do this, then they're going to network. But then it gets to 6 p.m. at night and they're like, hang on a minute. They look at their to-do list and they're like, I've only done one thing. So why do you think most people aren't productive? Because I'm guessing people want to be productive, but
Right.
it's almost like something's holding them back. Is that like a mindset issue? Is it, I talk a lot about people being addicted to dopamine. And when you're addicted to dopamine, it's constant stress. So when your brain's in constant stress mode, you want a distraction. So you start distracting yourself, which is you start procrastinating and start doing the dishes. Like, it's just stupid. Like, you'll literally think, okay, I need to send an email. An email takes no stress, it takes no pain. It literally takes you 1 minute. Hey, mate, blah, 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 blah. Like, literally takes 1 minute. But it's the thought of maybe they're going to tell you to F off. Maybe they're going to ignore you. Maybe they're going to say, sorry, not interested in your amazing program. And that hurts your ego. So it's your brain stopping you from taking action. So do you think that being productive is kind of your brain being addicted to dopamine a little bit and that fear of what if it doesn't work? So people want to do something, but they stop them from doing it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to tell you that most people that I work with, they want to be productive. Most
Mm.
entrepreneurs that I know, they want to be productive, but there's two things that they get backwards that's stopping them. The first thing is the lie that productivity is about doing more things. It's not. Productivity is about doing the right things. And the second thing that stops them is the lie that productivity is about time management, and it's not. Productivity is about your energy management first and foremost,
Mm.
underlined with your mindset management. If you have poor mindset and poor energy management, doesn't matter how many time management hacks you use, doesn't matter how pretty your planner looks, you're not going to get stuff done. And if you're trying to cram more things in a day, all you're doing is having busyness.
Mm.
Purpose without productivity is just daydreaming, and productivity without purpose or direction is just busyness. And those are the two main reasons why I find people who want to build a business, who want to support their family, who want to be with their family, why they just keep failing day after day on their
Yeah.
productivity.
So let's go deeper into that. So what you were saying, I'm guessing most people, when I say most, maybe it's 100%, maybe it's 95%, but most people do have a purpose. They want to retire their mum and dad. They want to, you know, make $1 million in a year. They want to, buy a nice home. Like, they do have a purpose and they want to change their life and they want to, like, they vision themselves here, but
Mhm.
it's almost like it's not possible. Do you think a lot of that's got to do with childhood? Being told that you're not good enough. No, you can't have that. No, you can't have that. No, get off. Don't speak. Be quiet. And that's just repeated in your head. So when you're an adult, you kind of feel like you're not that you're not special, but you've been you've conditioned your brain no, 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 thousands and thousands of times. So when you're actually wanting to build a business or a successful business, your subconscious says no, it's not going to work. So even though you do vision yourself, buying a massive house, yeah, or a sexy Lamborghini, for social media, like, people do have a vision, but they're still not productive. Why do
Right.
you think that is? Is it because the pain isn't big enough? Uh, yeah.
Those are all great points, and I think that depending on the person, a lot of that could play into, that maybe they, again, mindset, right? That's one of the
Mm,
foundational principles of my productivity system. You got to work on your mindset. Having a purpose is the culmination of it, but you got to work on your limiting beliefs. You got to have true self confidence. You have to overcome those things. But what I find is when you have an entrepreneur that really has things dialed in, they've created a vision and those things. The biggest challenge is that they set money goals
mm,
instead of setting service goals. When you set service goals, when you set mission goals, you stay on mission. The money follows. But when you start setting, I got to get $10,000 a month by this date, it starts to become stressful even as you work at overcoming mindset obstacles. All of those things keep coming back. Mom and dad said you
mm.
no, your friend said you're worthless. So every day it's like you're starting from zero, having to start over, overcoming that because you're looking at the money and the money's big and you're going, oh my goodness, will I ever get there? But what if you said instead of $10,000 a month, you said, I'm going to serve, I'm going to give value and content, and I'm going to serve 1,000 people this month. I'm going to add 1,000 people to my email list, and my email list isn't going to sell them anything. It's just going to give them value. Well, guess what? As you get people following you, all of a sudden you do
Mm.
launch a course, a program, a book, and instead of trying to launch it to a cold audience, you've already got 1 million people following you. And they say, I like the cut of your jib, Josh. I like what you're saying. I'm going to buy your book. I'm going to buy
Mm.
your course. I'm going to. So that's what I tell when people plateau, when they get stuck on their productivity, on their goals financially. I tell them, cut out the financial goals, set a service goal, and they get moving every single time.
Yeah, nice. I like that. Mission goals, and it's so true what you're saying. I think when it comes to money, again, we're brainwashed to think money's bad. Where money doesn't
Mm-hmm.
grow on trees, uh, and we, like money's actually good. Yet we're brainwashed to think that we can't get money because you're.
And,
It
and
almost
that's
feels
it.
like yeah.
Yeah, and Alan, you just brought up a great point. It's exactly that because money is the root of all evil, right? Well, actually the Bible
Mm,
says that the love of money is the root of all evil. Money is needed to make the world go round. But I mean, we can't have a good impact. We can't do good without money. But the point is that because we think money is evil, we set a money goal, we're just
mm,
creating a self-destructive cycle because even though, like I said, every morning we have to wake up and tell ourselves, no, I'm a good person, no, I'm worthy of this. And yet then you look at your goals that morning, you reconnect with your annual goals, and the first thing you see is I need to make $10,000 by December 31st. Right.
yeah.
So then all of those old limiting beliefs start coming up. Money is evil. So then therefore I'm evil. Therefore what I'm
Mm,
doing is evil. Therefore I'm going to subconsciously self-sabotage. But if you change that to I'm going to serve, well, serving is good. Serving is always good. I'm going to serve. You've just destroyed and obliterated those limiting beliefs, and I'm going to serve 10,000 people. And maybe that service does come by making an offer. Maybe you do offer 10,000 people to buy my program. But you approach it from that instead of I'm going to sell 10,000 people, I'm going to serve them. I'm going to serve them by offering them this program that's going to change their life.
yeah.
That's a totally different mindset. So you're absolutely right. It's that people think
Mm,
the money is the root of all evil. Subconsciously, that gets locked in, and then that just causes self sabotage as you
yeah.
try to move forward on your goals.
100%, dude. And what you said about serving. So I love coming up with hypotheticals. So yes, you can go from making money. So like, let's just say $10,000 a month. Yeah.
Hmm.
You go from I want to make $10,000 a month by Valentine's Day or by Easter or whatever it may be. Um, to serving, I want to serve 1,000 people. But because subconsciously you still think money is bad, you can't take money away from good people. Yeah. So
Hmm.
you still need to um, recondition your brain to go from money is evil, money is bad to I deserve this money because you could serve 1,000 people, but you want to do it for
Hmm.
free. Yeah. And I know people out there that just want to do things for free all the time because they love serving. like me, like I love helping people. I love helping people, whether it's mindset, losing weight, becoming better looking, whatever it may be.
Right.
But I love helping people. Um, but there's also people out there that love helping people and they're struggling financially, but they want to do everything for free. And they're, again, as what we were saying before, they're not that they're brainwashed, but they've conditioned their brains to think money is bad, money is evil. So if I help John with getting a six pack, even though I'm a personal trainer, because he's my friend, I can't charge him $50 an hour because I feel bad, even though I want to help. Like, so do you think that even though you want to serve people, that you still have to recondition your brain to go from money is evil to money is good? Yeah. Otherwise, you just do it for free.
Yeah. So that absolutely, you're right. And so there's a simple thing that I do in overcoming limiting beliefs. I like to change and this actually comes from John Acuff in his book.
Yeah.
I like to change the soundtrack in my mind in his book Soundtracks. And so one of the things that I do is to change that soundtrack whenever I start to feel that or that old limiting belief crops up. Well, money's evil, or you're evil for taking money for
Yeah.
this service. I have specific things that I tell myself, and I recite these things every morning and every night. And the way you can tell if you're changing your soundtrack, the way you can tell if it's a limiting belief or if it's a helpful belief is to ask yourself, first of all, is it true?
Mm.
Is it true that it's evil to take money from people? No, we exchange money all the time for things and services. If that was the case, the farmer would be evil for selling his milk, and Walmart would be evil for
Yeah.
reselling it, right? Um, Secondly, is it helpful? Is this helping me? Is it helping them? People, when people pay, they pay attention. So to really help somebody, you should have them eventually pay so that they are
Mm.
invested. They've got skin in the game. It's an investment. Number three, is it kind? Is it kind to myself to say that I should only serve and only do things for free? Absolutely not, because how do you feed yourself? How do you feed your family? How
Mm.
do you grow your impact? How do you pay for the internet to go on YouTube to create free videos? How do you pay your bills to continue to set up a studio to grow your impact and reach? So no, it's not kind. It's not kind to you. It's not kind to the people you would reach. So those are my
Absolutely.
three things I ask: is it true? Is it helpful? Is it kind? And if it doesn't meet those requirements, then I kick it out.
I like that a lot. And I guess it's one of those things where, as you said, you need money for, uh, a better office. You need money to pay rent. You need money to uh, hire people
You need
to.
money for food. You're not going to
Yeah.
help anybody if you're dead, right?
Yeah.
So,
In 2024, we probably need money to for oxygen.
yeah, probably.
Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. By the
Yeah.
way, we're hearing in Australia that eggs are really expensive now. Are they that expensive in the US?
Yeah, man. They are. It's insane the cost of eggs. My family, like family of 8 people, we go through eggs like crazy, and we started trying to figure out recipes without them because
Oh,
they
really?
were they were
Wow.
really that insane. They just started to come down, and by just starting to come down, I'll give you an idea. My wife and I went to the grocery store this weekend, and we bought some eggs, and she's like, wow, they're like $6 cheaper, but they were still like over $10.
Holy
And
shit.
yeah, that's how bad it was when they're still over $10 and you're excited because they're at least $6 cheaper. I mean, and I'm not talking like for a 12 pack, obviously. I'm talking like we get like,
Mm.
56 eggs. We get the
Ah,
big
yeah,
mega
yeah,
bundle.
yeah.
Yeah. But even the 12 packs, it used to be a couple bucks, and now they're, a dozen eggs
Mm.
is $6-7 for 12. So
Yeah.
yeah, so when what you're excited when you're paying over $10 for something
Yeah.
you used to pay $4 for. And yeah, it's
That's
pretty bad,
crazy. Crazy.
you know. But that's the point, man, is how am I going to have an impact on the world if I can't even feed myself? you
Yeah.
know. And if I'm giving away, you can give away a lot, and I give away a lot.
Mm.
I love giving away. I love serving, but there comes a point where if somebody says, "Okay, I want you one on one," well, now that's going to cost, because
Mm.
that that's taking my time. That's taking more direct effort than just creating a YouTube video, and that also is going to create in that person an urgency to actually work with me and get their investments worth.
Yeah.
If not, they'll just, we won't meet this week, we won't meet next week, and so it's the same thing. Those eggs are expensive, man. That created an urgency in us to really
Mm.
get the most out of that investment, right? Like, we were not going to waste those eggs. We were not going to let them go bad. We weren't going to drop them on the floor. We weren't going to mess around with them. Those eggs are
Mm.
like, we're going to get every penny's worth.
Yeah.
Same thing. And that's why you have to charge at a certain point, and that's why you have to change that limiting belief.
Yeah. Is there a little exercise that people can do rather? So I've just written here on a notepad, and I've also got a whiteboard here that I do a lot of brainstorming with, and then when I do a
Mhm.
video, I rub it all off because I don't want anyone to see what I'm doing. But is there like a little to do thing that people can do where they have a line in the middle of a page, and then on the left it says money is evil. You know, money doesn't grow on trees. Money is bad. Only rich people are assholes. You know, just like whatever. All these just stupid money issues that people have. And then on the right side of the page, is there an exercise that people can do to shift their limited beliefs in money is evil? Well, actually, no, it's not, because with money, I can help my mum do X, Y, Z. I can give it to charity. I can give it to a homeless person. So you're reconditioning your brain to go from money is evil to money is good. And then, in 30 days time, you actually want money. So you're more productive, because then you're wanting money because you know that money is there to help more people. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
do you have any exercises people can do at home to shift their limited beliefs from money is uh, evil, and then money can actually help me help more people? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I do. In fact, this is an exercise you can use with any limiting belief, not just the money limiting belief, but in particular with money. The first step is to reframe. I reframe it.
Mm.
So every limiting belief has, or not every, but most has a kernel or a nugget of truth to it. Okay. So I look at that limiting belief written down. You externalize it, you put it on paper, and then you reframe it. How can I reframe this to become a liberating truth? So money is the root of all evil. Well, we can automatically reframe that. No, the love of money is the root of all evil. If I love people more than I love money, then I'm okay. But I need money to live, so it's okay. So you can reframe it. Once you reframe it, you have to do something daily. In fact, you have to do it twice a day. And that's where this little notebook comes in, is you write that liberating truth down, and every morning, as soon as you wake up, you read it, and
Mm.
every night right before bed you read it. The reason why right before or right after waking and right before bed is because the chemistry in your brain is ripe for reprogramming at that time. So as you read these liberating truths, not the limiting belief, you've reframed it into a liberating truth. You've write it down in here. I mean, you can see I've just got just all kinds of little sayings written down. For example, today is brand new and tomorrow is too. I've got a gift worth giving. I am the CEO of me, and I am the best boss.
Mm.
Um, you know, these little sayings, as I read them every morning, it reprograms my brain. And then right before going to bed, when your brain starts doing its hardest work of organizing the day, you read them, and that's what you fall asleep to. And that literally reprograms your brain.
Yeah. Nice. Do you think it's like worth people? Like a lot of people don't like listening to hypnosis tracks. I am successful. I am amazing. I am going to become a millionaire. Stuff like that. But do you think that book that you've got? Do you think it's worth recording your voice, reading, 50 different things. I am a
Mhm,
CEO of XYZ. I am going
mhm.
to be speaking to millions of people on stage and blah, blah, blah. But recording your voice and then doing the, putting that next to like a nice little soundtrack, like of the water, and
Mhm.
then listening to that at nighttime. And it like, do you think that's worth, or that could actually help people?
So I think the listening to it overnight time's a little bit overkill. It could interfere with your sleep, and sleep is very important, especially to your productivity. But I definitely so what I do when I read this is I try to read it out loud. Recording it,
Mm,
and you don't even need to put it to a soundtrack, but recording it to listen, because when you hear it in your own voice, again, there's something about your brain chemistry that hearing your own voice say those things out loud, whether they're pre-recorded or whether you're reading them out loud, it definitely it helps to reprogram the brain faster because it's not a stranger's voice. It's literally your voice.
mm,
It's the voice you
mm,
hear in your head when you think thoughts. So it definitely speeds up that process. Now, when I read this out, I don't always read it out loud because sometimes my wife is asleep still, or there's a circumstance that I can't do that.
mm.
But as often as possible, I read it out loud. I love your idea about recording your voice because then, whether somebody's next to you or not, you could pop in the
Mm.
earphones and for the last 5 minutes of the day, listen to your own voice say these positive, liberating truths, or at the first 5 minutes of the day while you're eating your breakfast or going for your morning jog or something like that. Again, you could listen to your own voice
Yeah,
speak to you these liberating truths.
yeah, absolutely. Got a funny story. This is probably, don't quote me on this. It was maybe 5 to 8 years ago. Could have even been 10 years ago. I'm not sure. But I went through a stage of my life. Like I was going through chronic fatigue syndrome. I was in bed for 8 years. Uh, my body went from having a six pack to being not fat, but skinny fat. Couldn't exercise. Had no energy, and but at the same time, I wanted to find a girl. So I had to recondition my brain, and I was actually there's a some confidence hypnosis that I was listening to on YouTube, and it's funny because I'd listen to that maybe twice a day, and within maybe five, again, don't quote me on this, maybe 5-10 days, I actually felt really confident, and like
Hmm.
I'd go walking through the city or like a shopping center, and I'm like, I feel good. Like all these girls are looking at me. I'm like, hell yeah. Like I felt amazing. So it definitely works.
Right.
It's just like, not that you're tricking your brain, because like when you're listening to someone else say, "I am successful," "I am this," "I am confident," you kind of know it's bullshit because it's not
Right.
you.
Yeah,
But
it's not your voice. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's probably
Well,
more powerful if it was your voice. Yeah.
yeah, and I like you said tricking your brain. I like the phrase reprogramming. I'm
Mm,
reprogramming my brain, or hacking. I like the phrase hacking, brain hacking.
yeah.
I say that a lot. But yeah, absolutely, you're right. And I notice too on
Mm,
days when I rush, if I don't read this first thing in the morning and I skip it, or at night if I skip it before I go to bed, it does affect the day,
mm,
and because I'm programming my brain, but it really does work that fast. It's cool, Alan, that you said that there was like 5 to 10 days because honestly, it really does work that fast. That if you say something consistently for 5 to 10 days, your brain starts to, you're literally changing the soundtrack in your brain, as John
yeah.
Acuff says. He's one of my favorite authors and an amazing guy. But yeah, so I carry this around. The other reason why I carry it around with me is because if I'm sitting there, I'm getting my oil change in my car. I got 5 minutes. I bust this out instead of pulling out the phone and scrolling on Facebook, which does nothing but give me fake dopamine hits, which then gives me a high and then gives me a crash, which then makes me
Yeah.
want to come back to it again. Or it makes me upset because, oh, my life isn't as good as their life and all of that bullcrap. I pull this out and I read through it. And it just, so that
Mm,
way, even throughout the day, I'm just getting that refresher. and it's healthier and it's better for my brain and my
Mm.
well-being to do that than to pull out Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. Unless it's YouTube and I'm watching your channel or my channel, that's the
Yeah,
only other
good.
time, right? That's the best use of the phone is to watch us. But otherwise, pull out your soundtrack book and read it.
But really, you go on TikTok.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
right. Go on TikTok.
so when you were talking before, I wrote down something, and when I like all these questions, I'm trying to come from, what do most people think? Like, what are most people thinking? And I know taking money from poor people, because that's a subconscious belief of, again, wanting to help people for free. So let's
Hmm.
just say hypothetically that I've got coaching and it's $5,000, yeah, or even $1,000. Let's just say $1,000. But I know that this specific person wants my coaching, but they can't afford it. They're struggling financially. They can't pay food. Like they're like, oh, Alan, you know, can you do it for free? And you really want to help
Hmm.
them. Um, what do you do? Because like there's people out there again that like Grant Cardone. He would like. There's a video that I saw maybe 3 months ago, around
Oh
3 months
yeah,
ago,
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
and he literally said that he would take money from a homeless person because it
Yeah.
would be better in his hands. And I couldn't believe that. I'm like, what the
Yeah.
fuck? Like,
Yeah. No,
how
I
can
know that video.
anyone? Yeah,
Yeah.
but there's always something to learn, because maybe that's
Mhm.
telling me that I have it, even I have money issues where if Grant Cardone is, he's already a multi-billionaire, or, hundreds of millions of dollars sitting in a bank or in investments, whatever that he wants to say that he's doing. But if he can take $2 from a homeless person and feel good about that, his mindset is definitely a lot different than ours, or
Yeah.
definitely to mine. I could never
Well,
do that.
I see where he was coming from because
Mm,
I mean in that video he's talking about, hey, if you've got $2 and that $2 can pay for one of my programs, it's better that you spend that money on me because you're going to get a return on investment, and I get that
mm,
that concept, and he's gotten a lot of heat for it. I don't know. Again, I'm not a big fan of his mindset,
mm,
so I don't know exactly where it's at, where he's at with that. But I can tell you that's exactly why there are, Russell Brunson teaches this and Dean
mm,
Graziosi. In fact, I help people to create this in coaching with Dean Graziosi's program and coaching his clients. I help them to create what's called a value ladder. And that's where you give an opportunity for everybody at different to enter your ecosystem, to enter your coaching at a different level. Now, when somebody's paying me $25,000 a year, they're getting a much higher personal level of interaction, right?
mm,
Versus free. At free, they're getting a PDF, they're getting YouTube videos, which are still providing value. I'm still teaching them the
mm.
same things that I'd be teaching this other person. The difference is you can't ask a YouTube video, hey, that's great advice, but how specifically would I apply that? Whereas the person who paid me 25,000 can give me a call or meet with me on a coaching call and say, "Hey, what you said last week worked great, but how do I specifically apply it in this situation?" And then
Yeah.
we can work through that together. So that's the big difference there. So when we talk about serving and the people that say, "Hey, Alan, I love what you do. Could you coach me for free?" I've had
Mm,
people ask me that question. Josh, I love what you do. Could you coach me for free? Now, it's your business. You can make that call. I'm not saying to not do it. I'm not saying to do it. But what I'm saying is if you feel like you shouldn't do it, then you need to stick to your guns.
yeah.
However, you need to offer them, you don't just say no. I have what's called a gracious no. Here's going to be a soundbite for you, right? Here's a gracious no for you. Somebody says, Alan, I want you to coach me for free. And you go, gee, Josh, first of all, I'm flattered that you love my stuff. I think that's great. I really appreciate your support. I appreciate you following me and all of the things that you do. That means a lot to me. However, because my time is so limited, I really cannot offer you free coaching at the same level that I would offer somebody who's paying me $25,000. It's more just a limiting time. And if I open that up and people found out, first of all, there'd be people upset because of that, what they already paid me. Secondly, I'd be inundated with requests. But again, I'm so flattered that and I am so grateful that you feel that I'm the type of person that would do that for you. It's because you feel that way and because I don't want you to go away empty-handed. Here's some resources I'd point you to. Here, I'm going to send you some links. What's your email? Let me email you some links. I'm going to send you maybe a couple of worksheets or PDFs that really only the high-level people get, but I'll give them to you for free. There's a video on YouTube that would explain how to use this tool.
Yeah.
And I'll point you to those videos. But again, thank you. But it does have to be a no. That's a gracious no. You've acknowledged them for coming to you. You've thanked them, and then you've given them a hard no. Don't say, well, maybe, or down the line, this could be. You've got to give them a hard no.
Yeah.
But then you give them resources. You point them in another direction, or you may even point them in another direction to another coach. I think that this coach might serve you better. He does a lot of the same things that I do, not exactly, but I think he might. And yes, you're pointing somebody to someone else, but in the long run, like we said last time we met, there is no act of kindness that does not create ripples for good.
Yeah.
And if you approach that person from kindness and love, you will have good. So that was maybe more than a soundbite, but the concept is a gracious no. I'll give you a gracious no in 30 seconds. Gracious no, thank them and acknowledge their good choice, give them a hard no, and then thank them again and give them alternatives of where they can achieve what it is they need to achieve or what they want.
Yeah. What if they're good looking?
What if they're good looking? Like I said, man, this is your business. It's your business. And that's the great thing about being an entrepreneur, right? We get to make that call. Hey, you're somebody that I think will actually value this, even though it's free.
Yeah.
You're somebody that I think needs to pay, or else they're not going to take this serious. And you can make that call. It's your business. I think you're really cute. I'm going to work with you. Whatever it is. That being said, if I took on a bunch of really good looking clients, female clients, I think for free, I think my wife wouldn't be happy about that. She's the only good looking female client that I work with for free.
Loyalty is everything. Loyalty is everything.
That's right.
It doesn't matter how good looking they are. So what you're saying was actually good. So I always do it. If I can't personally help someone, so like let's just say someone comes to me and they're like, Alan, I need help with XYZ. And I know that I can actually help them with XYZ, but there's a better coach out there. For an example, I'll give you an example. Facebook ads. About 2-3 years ago, I would consider myself, top 1% in the world when it comes to Facebook ads. I was doing it for 15 hours a day. I had multiple Shopify stores. I was helping other brands, companies. I literally knew everything about Facebook advertising, everything. But now, I probably still know a lot, but because I haven't done it for so long, because that's not my goal at the moment, if someone came to me for Facebook ad, coaching, I would go, look, to be honest, and a friend of mine actually asked me about Facebook ads, hence why I'm probably bringing this up. And same thing with drop shipping and creating a Shopify brand. A few years ago, I would probably charge people, $1,000 per hour to help them with, their Shopify store. But now I probably wouldn't do that because I haven't done it for about 2 years. And then but what I'm getting at is I think if you're a good person and you actually want to help people, you don't do things for money. So you go, look, I could charge you, but I'm not going to. There's someone else that could help you do it that's
Mhm,
better than me right now. Whereas a lot
mhm.
of people, let's just say a business coach that wants to make $100,000 a month, it doesn't matter if they suck at copywriting. They will go, yeah, I can help you with copywriting. It's
Yeah.
$2,000. But then they use Chat GPT. So there's a lot of people out there that will just not lie, but they do things to make money. Whereas I think
Right,
when you're focused on actually helping people become better, you don't do things for the money.
right.
And that's when you refer people. So if you're not an expert in copywriting, you might say, look, I could help you with that, but Josh is actually a lot better than me. I'll give you his contact details. I don't think a lot of people do
Yeah.
that.
I agree. I think there's a lot of people that they just say, "Oh yeah, that's part of my program," or "Oh yeah, we'll
Mm,
help you with that." And then I've been duped by that. I've
mm,
invested, and then I get into the program, and I go, "That's not part of the program at all," or "That's a very small part." And I absolutely I
yeah.
refer people now. I refer people, and I'll tell you why. Because it's a productivity hack. Why do you want to spend time working on something that isn't your forte, that is not in your wheelhouse, um, when you could refer them to someone else, have them have good feelings about you because you were honest,
Mm,
have them work with the best in that, and free up your time to work in your wheelhouse, or free up your time to have the freedom of time to do what you want. I do this all the time with, I'm a coach with Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins for their mastermind program,
yep.
their Project Next Level. Now that is specifically to help online entrepreneurs build a business. That is one of the best programs I've ever seen out there to take somebody from zero to their first paycheck to help them grow. Now, when it comes to scaling, maybe there's other programs out there, but that's one of the best.
Mm,
And people come to me and say, "Hey, can you help me build a business?" No, go to that program. When I'm in that program, I'm a business coach when I'm coaching those students. When I'm running my own business, I'm a productivity coach. I don't want to mix the two. I don't want to take on people and then dilute my teachings, my productivity teachings, with business coaching. You're diluting your teachings,
mm,
you're lowering your value by mixing your teachings, by trying to be a jack of all trades. You're literally lowering your value. Instead of specifying and specializing in one thing for those clients, you completely blow your value to nothing. But I tell them, go sign up over at Dean and Tony, and if you're lucky, I'll get to coach you over there. But when I'm coaching for them, I'm in business coach mode. When I'm coaching my
mm,
personal clients, I'm in productivity mode. And I will tell them, by the way, that's not my program. That's Dean and Tony's program. That's 60 years of experience in building an online business. This is productivity. This is my years of experience of being productive and building a seven-figure business. So that way they're getting the best over there for building their business.
mm.
I'm not the best at in fact, you want to know how I built my business? I joined their program. So that's an endorsement right
Yeah,
there for them. But that's my point, is that you have to be honest with them. You have to
yeah.
be honest because it's a productivity. Do you really want to spend your nights and weekends trying to learn copywriting, or figure out Chat
Mm,
GPT, or figure out or purchasing other software just to keep a client? Or would you rather say no, thank you? And then when that client needs a productivity coach, they'll come back to me, or if they know someone else, right? Because you were
mm,
honest, right,
yeah.
Alan? When you're honest, that's the best way to get referrals, because then that
Mm,
person will go, "Hey, I didn't work with Josh, but he was straight up honest with me. He's a productivity coach. You need productivity help. Go
mm,
talk to him. I trust him, even though I didn't work with him, just because he was honest enough to send me somewhere else. He didn't just take my money and then leave me
mm.
disappointed."
Yeah, love that. Let's go over being busy because a lot of people, they work all day, they wake up in the morning, they have their cold showers, they have their coffees, and they get to work, they look at their to-do lists. Come 9 p.m., they're like, I haven't actually done anything. Huh. So being busy versus being productive, I'm guessing, 1 or 2 hours of being productive will get you 10 times more work done than just going through the motions, making it.
Hmm.
And why do you think people do this? A lot of entrepreneurs, business coaches, content creators, everyone, they they love being productive, but it's more about being busy. So, like, I'll give the viewers an example. Let's just say you're building a landing page. You know that you want to build a landing page, and it should take maybe 2-3 hours. You do the headline, subheadline, do a video, blah blah blah. But about 3 hours. But then 3 hours comes by, and you're still working on the headline, and you're using all these copywriting tools, and you're trying to perfect it. And then at the end of the day, you're still not finished the landing page. Uh, do you think people want to be productive, but they trick their brain, or because their brain's been programmed to think that being busy means being productive? But being
Hmm.
busy doesn't mean that you're going to build a business, you're going to make money. Being productive means that,
Right.
because being productive is you've got a to-do list, done, 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 done. What's next? Whereas being busy is work, 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 but nothing's really getting done. So,
Hmm.
can you talk about the difference between being busy and being productive, and then
Right. So remember earlier I said that productivity is not about doing more things; it's about doing the right things.
mm,
A lot of people think that a to-do list of 20 items long is what they need to be productive. What you need is to find the three highest leverage tasks you can do that day to move your business forward. If you do three tasks a day, 5 days a week, minus weekends, minus holidays, minus vacation in the summer, you will accomplish over 800 items in a year towards your goal. So, over 800 items in a year, you should be building a business. You only need three things. The thing that people do is they plan backwards. They don't
mm,
set boundaries, Alan. What I mean by that is they sit down and they look at their week and they start plugging in time, or they look at their day and they start doing things. And before you know it, it's 9 o'clock at night. Here's what you need to do. You need to set hard and fast boundaries. Quitting time is 5 p.m. I am done. Lights shut off, internet shuts off. I literally have it programmed. Internet shuts off to my computer a half hour before 5. I go through a workday shutdown ritual and then I'm out of my
mm,
office. So you have to set hard and fast boundaries. You have to set appointments with yourself. That means from 5 o'clock until bedtime, that's an appointment with myself and my family. Saturday is an appointment with myself and my family. Sunday is an appointment with myself and my family. Nothing gets scheduled on those times. Holidays are an appointment with myself and my family. Then you can fill in between those and I don't start work until 11 a.m. So from 11 a.m. So before 11 a.m., that's an appointment with myself and my family. That's my morning time. That's my morning ritual. That's my personal time. So the first thing you've got to do, instead of putting in your business appointments, instead of start scheduling all over the place, you've got to schedule your off time first. Set hard and fast boundaries. Next step after setting your hard and fast boundaries on your off time is you have to honor that and keep it sacred. That way, that's all it is. The third step is Parkinson's law. Work expands to fill the time allotted to it. Well, if work
yeah.
expands, the opposite is true. It will shrink. If you
Mm.
only give yourself an hour to get a landing page done, guess what? You're going to get your landing page done in an hour. I'm going to give you one more little secret to my success in working from 11 till 4:30 p.m. What I do is I work for 90 minutes and then I take a 30-minute break. I work for 90 minutes and then I take a 30-minute break. And I work for 90 minutes and I take a 30-minute break. I work a total of about 4.5 hours. The reason why is there's a thing called ultradian rhythms,
Mm,
which is a shorter version of a circadian rhythm. Circadian rhythms 24 hours. Ultradian rhythms are 90 minutes. Your body naturally needs about a 20 to 30-minute break every 90 minutes. If you follow your energy patterns, you will get more done in that 90 minutes than if you push yourself this Elon Musk crap of you got to work 100 hours, you got to push yourself, you got to go hard and long. No, no, man,
Mm,
it actually goes backwards. In fact, studies have shown if you work over 50 hours a week, you're only getting 35 hours of productivity. If you
mm,
work 60 hours a week, you're only getting 25 hours of productivity because you're spending so much time with brain fog and spending so much time being tired. Follow your ultradian rhythms, 90 minutes on, 20-minute break, or 30-minute break, 90 minutes on, 20 to 30 minutes. Do that, man. You'll be more productive than Elon Musk on his best day or his best week or whatever that high priest of hustle culture wants to call it.
What do you think of people working a 9 to 5? Because I'm guessing there's a lot of people out there. Come Friday, they're like, oh, it's the weekend. Friday's the day where your productivity goes from maybe 100 to 90 to 80. It's Friday, so you're already thinking the weekend. So do you? There's a couple countries overseas that have Monday to Thursday, and then they have Friday off.
Mhm.
Do you think it's actually better to work Monday to Thursday and have Friday off, or do you think it's we can all work Monday to Sunday? But yeah,
No, absolutely. In fact, science has proven that. That's why those countries have shifted. And in the
mm,
United States, some companies are even shifting in the United States. The traditional Monday through Friday, again, this comes from the archaic industrial revolution where the factory owner was trying to get as much work out of a factory worker while still giving them time off because unions came along and said, no, you can't work them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So it has been proven that if we can work and not 4 10s, that's the other fallacy. They think, okay, let's do 4 10-hour days and let's have Friday off. No, work 4 6-hour days. Microsoft is shifting to this.
yeah,
There's been studies coming out of Google, out of a lot of tech firms, where they're showing that they are more productive working 4 6-hour days than working 5 8 hours or 4 10-hour days. They're getting more work out of their workers. Happier workers are more productive workers. So absolutely having Friday off. I like to take Fridays off a lot just because, and even though I'm self-employed, because why not?
mm,
Uh, right? But but that's the idea is if you can work 4 days. So like I say, I work somewhere between 24 to 30 hours a week. And with that time frame, I get a lot of time off. One of the reasons, if you're living for the weekend, you're living life wrong. If you're living for the weekend, you're doing productivity wrong. The reason you're living for the weekend is because the time off of work at night that you're giving yourself, you're not using it right. That's the time for you to refresh. The productivity for the next day starts the night before. It starts the moment you get off work today. Your productivity for tomorrow starts at that moment. So when you use your evenings to truly refresh and rejuvenate, not just scroll and get
mm,
dopamine hit, fake dopamine hit after fake dopamine hit, not just binge watch Netflix, but actually engage in life. Do something different. If you work with your brain, you should break with your body. If you work with your body, you should break with your brain. And when I say break with your brain, I don't mean social media. I mean read a book. But
mm,
if you work with your body, break with or work with your brain, break with your body. Go out after you get off work, go for a walk with your family, go to the park, wrestle with your kids on the floor, play a board game, do something that engages your body and your brain differently than you used it that day. You'll go to bed more refreshed, get 8 hours of sleep, you'll wake up more refreshed, you'll be ready, and before you know it, you won't even realize Friday's here until you look at your calendar and go, "Oh, today's Friday."
yeah,
And that same for the weekend. If you use your weekend appropriately, you won't dread Monday. I love Mondays. I am
mm.
ready for work because I feel refreshed. Most people, in fact, science, Alan, did you know science has pinpointed when people get the Sunday blues or the Monday scaries, depending on what you want to call it? It's 3:25 in the afternoon on Sunday before they have to
Oh
return to
yeah,
work on Monday.
yeah,
They get the Monday scaries. They start getting anxiety about going back to work.
mm,
If you use your weekend to refresh, you're ready to go back to work. And it's the same when you're not, and you don't start Monday just looking forward to the weekend. Problem is, most people waste their evenings and they waste their weekends doing things that do not rejuvenate their body, their souls, and their brain. And then they wind up being afraid of going back to work, or they wind up spending the whole week living to Friday. But
Mm.
yeah, absolutely. If you can find a job, or if you can schedule yourself to have Fridays off, to have a 3-day weekend, you'll be even more productive and even more satisfied with your work.
Yeah.
Again, you take a whole week. It's not about finding a way to do 5 days worth of work in 4. It's about finding a way to do enough work in 4 that you're moving your business forward, right?
Yeah.
So there's a difference in that mindset there.
I'd like to go over the 90-minute, 30-minute rule. So a lot of people wake up early, they go to bed late, and they feel like they have to work 10 hours a day or 12 hours a day. It's work, 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 work. They might go to the
Mhm.
gym, they might go to a cafe for a quick coffee or whatever. But they've got so much stuff to do, it gets to the stage where nothing gets done. So I I want to go over that, not that less is more, but let's just say most people work 10 hours on their business, whether it's content creation, building an online course, trying to make
Mhm.
money with Shopify. It doesn't matter. But they're working on their computers for 10 hours a day. They wake up at 6 o'clock and they work until what, 6 p.m. So 12 hours. Do you think it's people can get more done, and so people can get more done working for 90 minutes, but then relaxing for 30 minutes, or like lifting weights, or and
Mhm.
how does that work? Is that because you're, like our brains to, use energy? Yeah, it's the number one source of energy. So when you're
Right.
um, thinking about stuff, or when you're working things out, you get tired. You
Mhm.
have to regenerate, and that's probably better for productivity. Um, but I'd like to go into more detail on why that works, and should
Mhm.
people go from working 10 hours a day to working for 90 minutes and then relaxing for 30 minutes, and why that works.
So first of all, 10 hours a day will always be anti-productive. Again, the studies are showing, and I love brain science, and brain
Mm.
science is showing right now that knowledge workers, which pretty much, content creator, course creator, YouTube creator, anybody that's not out shoveling dirt with their back is a knowledge worker. Their brains max out at 6 hours. But you can extend that 6 hours by following this ultradian cycle. So instead of just 6 hours straight and then you poop out, which is what
Mm.
would happen if you didn't take those breaks, you can go 90 minutes, take a half hour break. And again, the break should be something where you're breaking with your body. Now, that could be a nap. I take a nap every single day. Every day. In fact, I took a nap right before I came on with you. Absolutely loved it. Feels great. Every single day I take a nap. But you can do other things like having a snack, a meal, possibly going for a short walk, a 20-minute walk, or just sitting and letting your brain think. Just sitting and feeling your body, doing some meditation. Okay, you're using your brain a little bit, but it's more your body that's getting that. You're refreshing those chemicals and the things you need. But if you do 90 minutes, 30 minutes, 90 minutes, 30 minutes. I do 3 cycles, which is 4.5 hours of actual work. You can add one more cycle, which would be 6 hours of work. And then you end the day with a nice break. And then you go into a permanent break where you do things where my rule is after work and on weekends, I don't talk about work. I don't think about work. I don't read about work, and I don't do any work. So I don't even, a lot of entrepreneurs, we love to read business books and things. I don't even read
Mm.
those. I have an entirely different book for after work. I don't talk about it. I don't talk about it at the table. Don't bring it up. So, so yeah, absolutely. You can get more done in those 6 hours doing 4 90-minute sessions with the 20 to 30 minute in between than you could do in a 10 hour. Because what happens is If you push your brain, you're trying to push it for 10 hours and you're really only getting 4 to 6 hours of good work. The rest of that time, the other 4 to 6 hours is wasted. It's brain fog.
Mm.
It's you taking twice as long to do a task that if you just went and left it alone and came back to it tomorrow, you could get it done like
Yeah.
that. Now it's taking you an hour or two to get it done. So absolutely, that's why that 10 hours doesn't work. 10 hours. So people think they can use this 90-minute, the ultradian cycle, to stretch into 10 and 12 hours. You're still only going to max out at about 6.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if you
Interesting.
try to go for another cycle, you're just going backwards on your productivity. You might as well be sitting there with drool coming down your chin and just staring blankly at the screen. So
Yeah. I agree 100%, but won't people think, because like this is also people are going to think this. If I work for an hour and a half and I do nothing for 30 minutes, whether it's reading a book, relaxing, going for a walk, they might see that as a waste of time. I'm wasting 30 minutes, I'm wasting another 30 minutes. So instead of working for 10 hours, I'm only working for 6, even though it's better, they're getting more work done. Like, can we go deeper in that?
absolutely, Alan. That is the number one thing my clients, the second I introduce this to them,
Mm,
oh my goodness, the pushback. You would think that I was like asking them to sacrifice their firstborn child, right? Because that's the common thought is, well, I need to just keep working, or
mm,
or maybe I should just work for 6 hours straight. No,
yeah,
listen, the science is sound. It has been proven for over 20 to 30 years now. They've been doing studies on this. The corporate world is still not listening to it. Those that are doing the best work are those that are following their natural energy rhythms and cycles. It's how, listen, if I have Parkinson's disease, I have type 1 diabetes, I have kidney failure, I've had a heart attack at the age of 30. So, all of the things that go along with that, I've got low testosterone, low energy, I've got adrenal problems, I've got asthma. I mean, come on,
mm,
man, the list goes on and on, but I can build a seven
yeah,
figure business working 4.5 hours a day. What more proof do you need?
yeah. That's good.
And this is all science based, Alan. It's all science based. I'm not just pulling this out of the air going because I was,
Mm,
because I'm lazy. I only want to work 4.5. This is science based. I don't have a massive team. I don't have a bunch of workers. The worst thing Elon Musk did to Twitter was get rid of the shorter days and the shorter work week and fired a bunch of people and overloaded the remainder with tons of work. The worst thing he did was turn people into these sycophants that are in sleeping bags at their desks. That's
mm,
I mean, he might still. Here's the thing: work will always produce something. You'll always get something out of it. But the bottom line is, at what cost? At what cost? Those of you that are fans of Elon Musk, do you understand that he has no relationship with his children? He has adult children that want nothing to do with him. His first wife wants nothing to do with him except for the alimony check. There is no personal life for this man. There is nothing. You're an entrepreneur who wants to create a legacy. You want your children to be proud of you, then you got to spend time with your children. You don't just work 20 hours a day, sleep for 4, and then say it'll all be worth it in 10 years. In 10 years, how many
but
soccer games did you miss?
but
What?
I agree with you. But what if, so like a lot of people may not have families, they may not have partners, they're single, they got no kids. So I think it depends on people's personalities.
Okay.
Without
But Alan, what
Elon
about your
Musk,
health? What about your
yes,
health?
true.
My business partner, he's single, has no kids. If he worked 10 hours a day, when is he going to eat healthy? When is he going to exercise?
Mm,
When is he going to meditate? When is he going to read a novel, something to inspire him? When is he going to? That's the other thing. The science is proving that the shorter hours enhances creativity. So when is he going to enjoy the arts? When is he going to
mm,
enjoy nature? And he came in, he worked weekends. When he and I started working together, He came along and he says, I love what you're doing. Let's work together. Let's collaborate. I said, great. He worked 24/7, right? He's single. He's 40 something years old, got nothing
Yeah.
to, no family to worry about. And he's a great guy. And in fact, we just had a conversation today about this. We had our company meeting today, our weekly meeting, and I get it. He doesn't have the same responsibilities I have. He his business is our business is his baby. Okay. Most entrepreneurs, their business is their baby.
Mm.
But how long is your baby? How long are you going to be around to move your company forward if you trash your health because of poor sleep, because of poor eating, because of poor exercise, because of poor mental health? How long is your baby going to be around when you can't be creative because you don't enjoy nature, you don't enjoy the arts, you don't enjoy novels, you don't enjoy
Mm.
even television shows? How long is your baby going to survive when you're laid up in a hospital bed because you had a premature heart attack, because you had premature eyesight failure, kidney failure, uh, early diabetes, all of those things, right? I have those things, but I know how to make myself
Mm.
last a long time so that I'll be around for my baby, my company, and my babies, my real life babies. And so that's the idea, Alan. I get exactly what you're
Mm.
saying.
Doesn't it
But honestly,
also doesn't it also depend on your personality though? Because like you're a family man, you've got kids. Like I get that 100%. I'm kind of like that as well, where I love working, but I also like to go into nature. Like I love going for drives in the rainforest. Um, my girlfriend loves going to the beach, so like we love going to the beach and like reading. But there's some people like not just Elon, but like Mark Zuckerberg, and like there's these
yeah.
people that can literally like for us going for a walk in the rainforest or us spending time with our family. It's not that they don't care or they don't want that, but they prioritize their baby is building the world's best XYZ. So
And
that
and
they don't care about sleep or even though it's affecting their health and their
and you're
kids.
right. You're right, Alan. And that's why those are not my ideal client.
Mm.
There are people in the world that that's their priority and they don't care. They don't care about getting out into nature. They don't care about other things. And you're right. And listen, that's fine for them, right? That's fine for them. That's not
Mm.
acceptable for me. Last time we talked, I said, doesn't
Yep.
matter if I make $1 million a minute, if I don't have the energy and the time to spend it with the people I love, then it's all for naught. So so you're right. There are those aren't my ideal clients. My message is for my ideal client, but obviously I'm pretty passionate about it and I feel that those people would
Mm.
benefit because ultimately we're put on this earth for more than just making trillions of dollars. We're put on this earth to have a real impact. Elon Musk has done a lot of great things, but where has he really created an impact that has changed people on a level that is spiritual, that is that is deep and meaningful aside from creating really cool cars and space flights and
Mm.
things like that? Jeff Bezos, yeah, he changed the world with Amazon. He had a huge impact. And I'm not talking about giving to charity. I know these guys give to charity. I know
Mm.
that they do that. I know that they do charity, but I'm talking about real life human connection, right? And that's what I'm about, and that's what my coaching is about. Those the people who come to me, they come to me saying, I'm missing out on real life human connection. I don't want to miss 10 years of soccer games. I don't want to miss 10 years of anniversaries. I don't want to miss 10 years of birthdays, but I also don't want to sacrifice the growth of my business. That's where I come in and say, you don't have to. That is an injustice. That is unfair for people to expect you to either choose the growth of your business or to choose time with your family. You can do both. Let me show you how. And you can create a legacy. You can create something that your family's proud of, something that you can pass on, something that people will remember forever by choosing to prioritize things differently, to prioritize your off time, prioritize your family, prioritize your health, prioritize your mental health, prioritize your self-care, it actually builds your company faster. It builds it better, and it builds it more sustainable. Everybody, sustainable is a buzzword, isn't it, Alan? Sustainable right now. Everybody's talking
Mm,
about sustain. Is that sustainable?
mm.
Is this sustain? Is your life sustainable the way you're living it while you're building your business? That's the question you have to ask yourself. If you're going to burn out, if you're burning the candle from both ends, well, eventually that candle is going to be non-existent, and it's going to be non-existent even faster.
Yeah.
Can you sustain the level you're operating at and still build your business in 5, 10, or 15 years? If you can't, if the answer is no, if you see yourself heading for a collision, whether it be personal, financial, health wise, spiritual wise, emotional, mental, you see yourself burning out at the same pace you're going, you need to change something, because the second you burn out, your business burns out.
But yeah, but when you love something so much, and I love challenging you as well. I challenge everyone because I think it's good. Like it
I
gets
love it. I love it.
people to think. So when you love something so much, you two things. You either don't care if you're going to burn out because that's, like let's just say I'm building a Shopify store, yeah? I don't care
Mhm.
if I'm not like I could work from 6 in the morning to midnight because I love it so much. I don't care about going for a walk. I don't care about it eating. I love it so much that that fills me up, yeah? And yes, that could get me, and like I'm not talking about me personally. I'm talking about
Right.
the viewer
Yeah, I
watching.
understand.
Um,
Yeah.
but they love it so much that they almost either don't care that they're going to burn out because they're doing what they love, or because they're doing what they love, they can't see that eventually they're going to burn out, and
Mhm.
that's coming from experience. Back in 2011, I got glandular fever. I was working 100 hours a week, dude. This is crazy. So from 2009, 2010, 2011, so for 3 years, I was
Uh-huh.
working from 5:30 in the morning. So I'd wake up at 4:30. I'd go to the gym. My first client would be 5:30 in the morning. I'd work until 9:30 at night. Get home by 10:30. I'd be in bed by maybe 11:30 after eating, having a shower, stuff like that. But that was Monday to Sunday. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I
Yeah.
actually got to the stage where I was so tired I'd have like a 30-minute break, like a 30-minute lunch break. But I was so tired that I'd drink 2 coffees just to wake up. And then I'd have
Yeah.
another 30-minute break, from 4 to 4:30. I'd actually sleep at the gym in the creche. I'd find a place and sleep. Like I was so
Mhm.
mentally drained. But because I loved helping people and, helping people work out, plus I was a dance choreographer, I was teaching hip hop. I loved what I did, but at the same time, I was tired. And I remember my mum saying, Alan, you're working too much, you're going to burn out. But because I was fit and healthy, I was like, all good, mum, I'm okay, don't stress. But I literally didn't take a day off, dude. Like, even on my birthday, I'd work a 15-hour day. I was literally living work, breathing work. I'd come home exhausted. I'd sleep. I'd get up at 4:30 in the morning. Like, everything was relating to work. And then I got glandular fever, which led to chronic fatigue for 8 years. But
Right.
basically, me being a cripple in bed, like I couldn't move. At one stage, I couldn't even move my fingers. Like it was really, really bad. And
Wow.
maybe you can relate to having fatigue, but I was literally a cripple, dude. Like I remember at dinner time, it'd take me 30 seconds to get the spoon from my plate to my mouth, and I'd literally eat dinner like this with my eyes closed. Like it was bad.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I was, yeah, like not many people know this story. Like I was really bad, really bad. Couldn't move my legs, couldn't move my arms. People thought I was faking it because I looked healthy. Uh, like why would you fake it? Like why would you fake being in bed for 8 years? It's weird.
Yeah.
But my point is because I loved working so much and I loved helping people, um, personal training clients, talking to people in the gym, choreographing dance classes. I loved it, but at the same time, my own mum was saying, Alan, you're going to burn out. Stop it. But it's almost like I didn't believe that I was going to burn out because at that time I was fit, healthy, I was doing what I loved. So speaking about a content creator or a business coach or an entrepreneur, yes, what you're saying is 100% true. People can't work 10, 15 hours a day every single day because they're eventually going to burn out. But
Hmm.
it almost doesn't matter because they're doing something that they love doing. And I think it's that
Hmm.
conflict in people's head of they know that to be more productive, they have to work less, but at the same
Yeah.
time, they love what they're doing. So it's that conflict of, well, like, yeah.
So I'm gonna drop some hard truth here.
Oh, yeah, come on.
If they love their business, they would work less. They are addicted.
Mm,
It is like the person who is addicted to drugs. They love their family, but they won't stop drugs because they're addicted. Even
yeah.
though they know it will kill them, that maybe it will shorten their time with their family, but they still do drugs. People who know that they could do more by working less, or people who hear that, or people who scoff at it and want to keep working because I love my business. You're not in love with your business, not more than you are addicted to the rush of working. It is a rush. I get it.
Mm,
We do what we do because we are passionate about it. But passion and love are two different things. Love implies care. You can be passionate with somebody, you can be passionate having sex with somebody, but not love them. You can be passionate about your business, but not love your business enough to take care of yourself. So that's a hard truth that I drop with people. And if people can't accept that, then I say that's fine. You don't have to agree with me, but I'm not going to be
mm,
a good coach for you. That's the honesty, right? That's where I go, we're not going to work well together. I don't
mm,
want your money because you need somebody else who's going to have a whip and drive you to do more. The truth of the matter is people are addicted, and I get it, Alan. I get where you're coming from. You know, we feel that it starts out with love and then it turns into an addiction because it feels good. It feels
mm,
good to help people. It feels good to see the paycheck comes in. It feels good to see our work out there. It feels good to see people loving our content. It feels good. It's like you talk about, it's that dopamine. But then we become addicted to the dopamine.
mm,
Because if we truly loved our business, we would want to be alive. We would want to extend our life for 400 years if we truly loved our business. If we truly loved the impact we were having, we'd want to extend that as long as possible. We wouldn't want to say, I'm going to be a flash in the pan. I'm going to go hard and fast for 10 years, and then I'm going to be an invalid for the rest of my life. But gee, what a 10 years it was. Who logically lives their life like that? Nobody does. The problem is we think we're invulnerable, just like the drug addict who thinks it's not going to happen to them. The overdose won't happen to
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I've got it under control, right? What do drug addicts say? I've got it under control. I can quit whenever I want.
Mm,
All of those lies, we also, as entrepreneurs, tell
yeah,
that to ourselves, man, right? How many
yeah.
times have you heard another entrepreneur, man, I got it under control, or no, I could quit. If I don't have to work 10 hours if I don't want to. I could stop doing that. I could take a weekend off whenever I want. I just choose
Yeah.
not to because I love it so much.
Mm, yeah.
No, you choose not to because you're addicted to the dopamine rush. Listen, every
Mm,
time I finish a course, every time I finish a coaching session, I get a dopamine hit. I get excited, man. I may
mm,
be exhausted, but oh, does it feel good? I'm addicted to that feeling. And if I don't get over that addiction and realize that I have to take control of my energy and my mindset, again, it's a mindset thing. Shift your mindset from being addicted to the dopamine hit to being addicted to steady, consistent growth, to legacy business, to family time or friend time or me time. Shift your mindset, manage your energy, set goals that leverage 3 items a day to achieve what you want, and you'll be more wildly productive and more wildly happy and satisfied in life than the person who's in the hustle culture. The hustle culture is a
mm.
fallacy, it's a lie. And it is the hustle culture is an addiction. And that's the truth bomb. The hustle culture is an addiction. If you truly loved your business, you would give up the addiction and you would serve your business by taking care of yourself.
Yeah. Like that. It's really
So
good.
sorry, man. Some truth bombs there. Hard stuff. But the bottom line is, like I said, not everybody's for me. Not everybody is my cup of tea, and I'm not
Mm,
everybody's cup of tea. That's okay. I'm cool with that. And that's the other thing that coaches and content creators, they need to understand that's okay. You're hustling, you're working to get people to like you that ultimately aren't even going to be interested in what you're doing. They're going to disagree with you. Why do you want them to like you?
mm.
Be true to yourself, stay on the mission, the money will follow, the right people will join your program. You will get to work with the right people, which will be wildly more satisfying than trying to force everybody into your program. And ultimately, you'll have a happy life. You'll succeed in business and you'll win at home.
Yeah,
And that's my goal for
nice.
everybody.
Yep, like it. And
So,
lastly, what takeaways can we give people? So over the next 7 days, what can someone follow, whether it's at home, in their office? So we spoke about working for 90 minutes and then relaxing for 30 minutes. Now, relaxing could mean reading, maybe going for a run outside,
yeah.
petting your dog, just
Remember,
like,
remember if you work with your brain, break with your body. If you work with your body, break with your brain. So, yeah.
yeah. So, what can people do over the next 7 days? Because obviously, to shift from working 10 hours a day, hustle, got to work, got to do this, and then nothing gets done, to
Right.
what you suggested, working for 90 minutes. Any change is different. When you change your routine, your brain goes danger, danger, because it's changing. Yeah. And everything we do is based on survival. So when
Right.
you're changing, even though it's for the good, it'd be like an overweight person that sits down watching Netflix. They eat pies, sausage rolls, they drink Coke. They, like changing to go to the gym. Just that thought of going to the gym, they get tired and fatigued because it's
Right.
changed. Going to the gym could kill them.
Yeah.
Whereas if they've, yeah,
So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to give you three things to do this week, and they are going to be a little bit hard. But here's three things to do to start changing your habits immediately to be healthier in your productivity and healthier in your life. Number one, schedule your off time first. Block out your off time, the time that you do not want to work, and set it as a sacred appointment with yourself. Nothing can violate those boundaries. That's number one. Number two is turn off all notifications on this thing. That's hard. Turn off all
mm,
notifications except for text message and phone calls, obviously. Number three, I'm going to give you a little bit of a break from number two. Set alarms, no more than three alarms to check your to check your email and your social media 3 times a day, no more than 3 times a day, for no more than 30 minutes. So set an alarm. I'm going to check it at 9, I'm going to check it at noon, and I'm going to check it at 5. And then set another alarm at 9:30, 12:30, and 5:30 to alert you that it's time to shut it off. If you stick to those three things this week, you will start to shift the chemistry in your brain. You will start to create habits and a life that will help you to grow your business, focus on what's most important while continuing to focus on the most important things outside your business, which is your family, your health, your mental well being, your social well being, your spiritual well being. You will have those opportunities and you'll have the life that you want if you can just do those three simple things. Schedule your off time first, turn off all notifications, set times, 30 minutes apiece each day to check your phone, but no more than that. If you do that, I promise you that you'll start having success in your business. You'll start having more time to yourself. You'll have less anxiety. You'll have better free time, and you'll have a more rejuvenated life that inspires you to go back to work and increases your productivity as well as your creativity.
nice, dude. So let's hope that people watching this will actually do it. And then maybe we can jump on again next week, and we'll go over something else. We can go over how to write a to-do list, and to do the 3 or 4 tasks, and what you suggest people do to move from A to B instead of being busy rather than being productive and getting stuff done. So let's leave that here. Pleasure to speak with you again. It was really good. Hope the viewers got a lot out of it. And yeah, let's chat again next week.
Absolutely. Thanks, Alan. I really appreciate it. I hope the viewers got something out of that too. And I'd love to hear any feedback if anybody has any comments. But thanks again for having me on. I look forward
Sounds
to
good.
talking with you again next week.
Sounds good. All right. Bye, everyone.